New music every week on 88.1 KTXT-FM, The Raider.
Blame me.
Support for KTXT-FM comes from Daylight Donuts, located at 34th and Elgin in Lubbock. Daylight Donuts serves cinnamon rolls, donuts, and coffee for sit-down or takeout, Tuesday through Saturday from 5:30 a.m. until 11 a.m. Daylight Donuts, 792-4741.
This is KTXT-FM Lubbock. The Raider, 88.1.
Good morning, Texas Tech. You're tuned into the Raider 88.1. This is April 5th, Woman Crush Wednesday, the best Wednesday of your week. Thanks for joining us this morning. I hope you're having a wonderful drive into your workplaces, your school places, your everywhere that you're going this morning. We have a wonderful show worked out for you today. We've got some news, some sports, some exciting things about this wonderful day. And I'm joined in my studio by my two favorite coworkers, Miss Alaina Porter. Good morning, Alaina.
Good morning, everyone.
And Miss Claire Collins.
Hello.
Hi, Claire. Claire's not technically a coworker, but she might as well be.
Try again, Alaina. I had your mic down. I apologize.
It's okay, though. So, yeah, we have a wonderful show worked out for y'all today. If we can keep our eyes open and keep our energy levels up, I think we can do it.
Coffee.
Coffee helps.
That's why we have coffee.
We have coffee. I have some cold water, so that
works
that'll help too. But
just like splash on your face
yes,
when you wake up.
Pretty much. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with your news update. Just get the ball rolling, get going pretty good. That was a great lead-in. That's why I have a job here. All right. Good morning, Lubbock, Texas. This is your KTXT news update. Members of the Senate Homeland Security Committee agree that the U.S. needs to secure its southwest border, but no one at yesterday's committee hearing said they're convinced that a continuous wall is the way to go. Both Democrats and Republicans questioned witnesses on the most effective way to secure the border, with Democrat Heidi Heitkamp of North Dakota noting that no one has come before the panel suggesting the need to build a concrete wall completely across the border. But members feel a wall is appropriate in at least some areas. The driver of a pickup truck that plowed into a church bus near Uvalde is now out of the hospital. The Texas Department of Public Safety reports that yesterday Jack Young was released from a San Antonio hospital. Young has not been charged but is being investigated after his pickup crashed head-on into a New Braunfels First Baptist Church bus last Wednesday. 13 people in the bus, including the bus driver, died from injuries suffered in the crash on US 83 near Concan in Uvalde County. Detectives are looking into witness testimonies alleging Young's truck had been weaving in and out of lanes and that he was texting right before the accident. Officials say there's no decision yet on whether 20-year-old Jack Young of Lakey will face charges for last week's head-on crash of Uvalde County. Sergeant Johnny Hernandez with the Department of Public Safety tells MySA.com that the accident remains under investigation. Hernandez confirmed that Young was released yesterday from the hospital. The DPS identifies Young as the driver of the white Dodge Dually that veered into the path of the church bus. And finally, the Texas Rangers are taking over the criminal case in the Lavernia High School hazing investigation. So far, 10 students have been arrested and more than 20 students have come forward to say they were victims of hazing. It was revealed at a school board meeting Monday night that the Texas Attorney General will handle any prosecutions. That does it for your KTXT News Update. Now we have DG, whom I did not introduce. He's our wonderful producer and my wonderful boss in studio running board, and he will give you your weather update.
Trust me, I need no introduction at this point in my career. I'm hoping, against hope, this morning is the last of our cold weather. I'm hoping.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. We didn't get down to freezing, but we did dip into the 30s. And, we'd been talking all semester long about when our last snow event would be, and the last cold this may be it, hopefully. No snow, though. Sunny today. Highs in the low 60s. Northeasterly winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Clear tonight. Lows again in the upper 30s expected. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, shifting to the south after midnight. And sunny and warmer tomorrow, highs Thursday in the lower 70s. Currently in Lubbock, fair skies, 39 degrees. The wind is from the northwest at 14. That's making for a wind chill of 31 degrees. So you'll definitely want to bundle up today, this morning, as you head out and about. Mm-hmm. But all in all, it should be a nice day. And I think one more round of 30s for overnight lows tonight. And then hopefully we're done, because it's April, it's spring. Our last average freeze for Lubbock is April 8th. So I think it'll be safe to plant the crops after this weekend.
Plant the crops.
Yes.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And it looks like the donuts just arrived.
Awesome.
Savannah risking her life and limb through morning rush hour traffic to bring us daylight donuts here at the radio.
What a gem. Thank you so much, TG, for that weather update.
You're welcome.
I don't know if y'all were surprised yesterday by the random cold front that blew in and almost killed us all, as I was. I was in here.
Were you almost killed?
Well, yes. I feel like I was. I was in my office. I was chilling. I was writing a paper. You know, no big deal. Everything's great. Wearing a t-shirt, got my flip-flops on because it's April. Look out the window, and this wall of, like, purple clouds is just moving in, like, slowly creeping at me. And I was like, oh, dear, that's not good, because I parked in Commuter West, and I knew I wouldn't be able to catch the bus because whoever catches the bus. And so I had to walk from here to Commuter West as the cold front's literally, like, blowing in. The wind was, like, 40 miles an hour. It dropped 20 degrees in all of 10 minutes. Like, it was cray. And I was, like, walking to my car, and there were tears streaming down my face. And it was just pathetic.
Did anyone else see the rain?
The rain?
Like, it definitely rained.
I was told it sprinkled.
It sprinkled for a minute.
But
okay, so it wasn't just, like, because it came so quickly, I kind of felt like I imagined it, but
no, I was told it.
No,
I didn't
it was
see
all
it,
sudden.
but I was told it sprinkled, so that was cool. It was just wonderful. But, yeah. Hey, Sav. We have a Savannah joining us.
Only one.
Savannah brought us donuts, so Savannah gets off the hook. Savannah's great.
Yes, thank you. Savannah.
But, yeah. So, okay. Let's talk a little bit about a couple of these stories real quick. Okay, so there were two stories about this, the Uvalde crash. I don't know if y'all heard about that. It is very, very sad. There was a bus crash last week in Uvalde County by Concan. 13 church members were killed in a collision. They were all elderly. They'd gone on a retreat to Rio Frio. It's like a church camp, but it was just like a retreat for the week. And yeah, it's really, really sad and awful. But I think one person survived, but everybody else on the bus was killed. And then this driver, Jack Young, he's not been charged with anything yet. He's not. They're investigating into the accident, though. There were lots of reports that he was swerving, that he was texting while driving. Like there were at least 3 or 4 phone calls to the police station prior to the accident of people reporting a driver that was swerving all over the road and being reckless. So I don't know. That happened, and it's really sad that texting may have been the cause of 13 people losing their lives.
I believe that he came out and said that he was texting and driving.
Really?
I think he admitted to it.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's really sorry, and
he's really sorry.
Yeah, but it was a full bus of people
that
died.
Yeah.
It's not worth it, people. It can wait.
Yeah, like for real. I just don't understand.
Text and drive. That's our PSA.
Yeah, pretty much. That's just, it's awful.
That's
it makes
sad. Well,
and I don't really I'm guilty of it. Like, just, I don't sit there and stare at my phone, but if I get a text or something, I can shoot off a quick yep or no,
yeah.
And it takes me 2 seconds, but still, I don't know, sometimes it's really just not worth it at all.
Especially when you're driving a bus.
A bus,
yeah. Those are already hard to drive, I feel like.
When you're driving a bus, when you're driving a giant truck. I've been on the road before when, an 18-wheeler will, swerve into my lane because they're on their phone. And I'm like, you're driving an 18-wheeler. Do you know how quickly you could hurt someone with that giant contraption?
No, that's scary.
It is. Ugh. It's bad. But anyway, thoughts and prayers going out to those families this week because that's just really sad. Okay, so one more thing I wanted to talk about real quick. Okay, so the Texas Rangers are taking over a hazing investigation in Lavernia High School. I don't really know the details of what happened at Lavernia, But the fact that hazing is still a problem is intriguing to me. I feel like it's become such a huge deal in like recent years. I was looking at a website yesterday, and there were at least 6 different articles from 6 different schools of 6 different fraternities and sororities of people who've been arrested for hazing activities. And it just blows my mind that you could, I don't know, like, and I don't know, I've never experienced that, but like I know like a lot of it involves not things that I would ever want to do. One of my friends was telling me that like they had to like drink like curdled milk and all kinds of stuff that's just not good, that you just don't want to do.
Why was hazing ever created?
I don't know.
I don't get what's the purpose?
I don't know. I don't know. A lot of people are like, it's a rite of passage, but honestly, like if I have to do something like that to be in an organization like
with so-called friends,
I don't want to do that. Like that's not.
I don't think they're my friends. If they want me to drink curdled milk.
I don't think that's fun. I don't feel like that's something I would want to do. I don't know. I know it's completely illegal. Like you're not supposed to do that on any campuses and any organizations like at all. So I don't know, but I just wanted to hear what y'all's thoughts were on that, because that was really interesting to me. That's still an issue.
And was that at a high school?
This was at a high school. I don't even know what high school. So what I'm thinking, I don't know. I know at our high school, like, this is really bad. Like, it doesn't really happen anymore. But, like, used to on the sports teams, like, varsity would haze, like, JV. Okay. And so, like, one time they took this kid out into the country and, like, duct taped him together and left him on the side of the road. Like, that actually happened, like, years and years and years ago. Years and years and years ago, for anyone listening, is not recent occurrences, but it was like the kid wasn't mad. Like it was in like there was like 5 of them that they left out there together. Like that he was like, it's just what they do. Like that's part of the experience. And I was like, no, it's not.
No,
like that's not okay. But anyway, I don't know. I just thought that was, I don't know. I've always wanted to duct tape someone to a pole, but that's not hazing. I just think that'd be fun.
No. So anyway. She wants to haze, but
not for
she doesn't want to be
hazed. It's a prank. Yeah. There's a difference between pranking and hazing.
I don't know if that.
You don't get anything from a prank. It just happens.
Do you get anything from hazing?
Not the person being hazed. No. The person being hazed gets to be part of the organization, but the person being pranked, they just get duct taped to a pole.
So it's worse.
Yeah.
You don't get anything in return. You just get
duct taped to a pole. I don't know. Anyway.
It's a random aspiration, but...
Well, they did it in Corpus a couple weeks back. Some guy got arrested for it.
Oh, my gosh.
So you want to get arrested for...
No! It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay, well, this did not go the way I was planning, so we're going to go ahead and go into our first song break. We have a song for you coming up called A Little Less Conversation by Elvis Presley. We got Alaina picking out good old songs today. So y'all keep it locked to the left, and we'll be back soon with your sports update. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I honestly, I don't even need it.
Hello.
Hey, Facebook.
So I looked it up online. It's not pretty.
What happened?
At least 10 arrestees have at some point been athletes at La Vernia High School, which has about 1,000 students. The police chief of the city said the hazing primarily involved the football team, but the basketball and baseball teams were also involved to a lesser degree. And we're talking sex crimes as well. It's not.
Wow.
It's not pretty.
Not really something I thought we would bring up on the radio. But hey, now that the Facebook crowd is joining us, let's talk about it in more gruesome detail. No,
See, I didn't want to I don't know the details of it, so I didn't want to talk about that aspect on air. But
it's not pretty, and for a school that only has 1,000 students and at least 10 have been arrested, what is that? 1% of the student population is now under arrest.
Man.
So it's a small school, a small town near San Antonio, and like most small towns that have the school located there, the school is a big deal. It's a big important part of the community, and to have this not only is a black eye on the school, it's a black eye on the town. So it's a big deal.
I figured it would have something to do with the sports teams, because I know traditionally, that's just varsity does that to JV, and it's just not that they shouldn't. That's not good, but I just have heard that's a thing that happens. So anyway, yeah. I was I'm talking about the hazing practices of my old high school, and they're gonna get in trouble. They
don't say the name of the high school.
They don't still do it. I promise. Oh jeez, it's fine. Everything's fine.
I don't know if they did hazing. I'm sure they did it in my high school, but I was in band. We didn't haze in band, but I'm sure the sports people did. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't really. It's not something that you talk about much.
Yeah.
Like the teams don't advertise it, and they're like, it's one of those like, if you talk about it, we'll kill you kind of things.
Oh wow!
So, which I'm sure if you have like the
Extreme.
varsity football team like telling you like, hey, don't do this. Okay, sir.
Yeah, because they're big and scary.
I won't.
You're a little freshman.
yeah, pretty much. So anyway, I don't know, but yeah. So Facebook. Okay, cool. 1 minute. So we've got sports coming up next. DG's got some interesting stories for y'all. I'm really excited about one of the stories that he's got, but I won't spoil it. I won't ruin it. You have to pay attention.
Is it about hockey?
It's not about hockey. Are there any hockey stories?
Because we can't have that conversation
I don't think
again.
there are any hockey. There are hockey stories. What a blessing. But no, Alaina, it's not about hockey.
Okay, good.
Alaina's sassy this morning. Alaina gets here 20 seconds before the show starts, and then she sasses the whole time.
I love it.
It's my role.
I love it.
It's great. Everything's fine. Okay. Alrighty, Facebook. Well, we're going to go ahead and let y'all go. Y'all keep it locked. We'll be back soon. Don't go anywhere.
And good morning. It's 15 minutes past 8 o'clock. I'm DG with your KTXT Sports Update. North Carolina is cutting down the nets in Arizona. The Tar Heels outlasted Gonzaga 71-65 in the NCAA Men's Basketball National Championship game. UNC, which lost to Villanova in last year's title game, won the NCAA tournament for the sixth time in school history. The Cowboys are parting ways with veteran quarterback Tony Romo. The team has released Romo. He'll retire and pursue a career in broadcasting. Owner Jerry Jones says, quote, "We wish Tony and his family nothing but the best, and as an organization, we did what he asked us to do in terms of his release," end quote. Romo tweeted, "I guess it's time to start dressing up," with a picture of himself wearing a CBS blazer. The Indians jumped out to a 3-0 lead and held on to beat the Rangers 4-3 in Arlington. Joey Gallo hit a 2-run shot in the loss. Martin Perez gave up 3 runs on 5 hits in 6 innings to fall to 0-1. The Rangers will look to avoid this sweep tomorrow. 6:05 p.m. is the first pitch. Ben McLemore keyed the Kings down the stretch as they closed out the Mavericks 98-87 in Sacramento. Nicholas Brusino scored a team-high 13 points for Dallas. The Mavs have lost 5 of 6. Both squads are eliminated from playoff contention. The Mavs conclude their 5-game road trip tonight in L.A. against the Clippers. And this next one, is just for Alaina. Julius Honka's first NHL goal was the difference in overtime as the Stars sank the Coyotes 3-2 at American Airlines Center. Brett Ritchie and Jason Dickinson gave Dallas a 2-0 lead in the first period. Antti Niemi made 24 saves in the victory. The Stars host Nashville tomorrow before closing out the season Saturday against Colorado. I'm DG. That's your KTXT Sports Update.
Thanks so much, DG, for that wonderful update. Alaina, you don't have your headphones on, so he read a hockey story just for you. And
did.
It was great.
Oh, thanks,
It
DG.
was great.
We lit the lamp.
You know,
We
I
lit
love
the
hockey
lamp. I do.
and all things sports.
And all things sports. So the story that is most interesting to me, that I'm most excited or intrigued, I guess you could say, is that Romo is retiring after quarterbacking. Is that a verb?
That can be a thing.
Sure.
After being a quarterback for however 14 years, he is retiring and he is going into broadcasting. So he is joining the land of all of us.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like there's any money in broadcasting.
I think he'll be okay.
I think he's made enough.
I think he'll be fine. But yeah, he's joining CBS to become a color commentator. So what that is like a man, I really wish our sports director was here to explain. But like basically what they do is they just like observe, they watch the game and they talk during the game about what is going on in the game. So like plays, what certain players are doing, what is going on exactly in the game, like what certain things mean, all of that. I obviously, as you can tell, that is not my job. So that's I know, right?
Like you're doing great.
Yeah, but they help the crowd. They're really cool. They're like crowd helpers for people like me that have no idea what's going on. And since he's so well versed in the game of football, I think he will do a wonderful job. He's following in the footsteps of many other athletes before him. I know Tebow tried his hand at it for a little while before he decided he could play baseball. So that's cool. I wish I could do that.
I wish I could be like, hey, I
just play all the sports.
I'm tired of football. I'm going to go play baseball now and make millions of dollars doing that. I know Shaq did it for a while. That seems to be the kind of direction a lot of athletes go after their careers. Charles who?
It's okay. Never mind.
Okay.
Charles.
Yes. There you go. I was like, Charles. Yes, Charles. But yeah, good for Romo. Good for him.
That'll be fun.
Maybe he'll. I was gonna say maybe he'll be a better broadcaster than he was quarterback, but he wasn't a terrible quarterback. He just was an unlucky quarterback. He's honestly, according to Andrew Marks, our sports director, who's probably gonna kill me for that comment. He's one of the best quarterbacks of all time with just his like statistics and like throws and like passing yardage. That's not a word. Yeah. Is it a word?
I think, sure.
Cool.
His yardage.
His yardage. So, like,
after quarterbacking.
All of his sports statistics, he's one of the best quarterbacks of all time. So, honestly, hats off to you, Romo. You at least provided us with many good jokes for many years. So, I really hope you have a wonderful broadcasting career.
We love you, Romo.
Is he still dating Jessica Simpson?
No, but you don't remember when that was a thing? Whenever
what happened to her?
Because she was bad luck to the Cowboys.
Did she, like, fall off the face of the earth?
That was
like,
fact.
I really don't know what happened to her. she disappeared.
Maybe she was just a distraction, you know?
Yeah.
Like any girlfriend.
I mean, yeah, probably. She saw it, but
like anyone.
Anyway. Yep. So anyway, that was our entertaining and intelligent sports conversation for the day. I personally enjoyed it. Also, Wreckham Tech, go Red Raiders. We're still second in the nation in baseball, so that's awesome.
I'm so pumped about that.
I know.
I'm so proud.
So exciting.
Did you shaking his head at me, which makes me think we're not.
You just said second in the nation?
Is that not right?
No, I think we're sixth.
No.
We're second.
We're second.
No, you do know that we lost Oklahoma.
I didn't.
Over the weekend, right?
Everyone. We had no clue.
What did we say? Did we predict that?
We did. We predicted. I think I said that the older man would probably come out on top and beat youth. And then all of y'all were like,
that was a different team, wasn't it?
No.
Because OU's the scooter thing. Whatever. It's like a wagon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was Las Vegas.
Never mind.
This is crumbling really quickly. This is crumbling so fast.
Oregon State's won. Louisville is second.
Oh.
TCU moved
What
up to
are
number
we?
3. We're
That's really
sixth.
upsetting.
We're sixth.
We're behind
Well, now
Clemson
that
and
my
North
day is-
Carolina.
Well, thanks for ruining our day.
We're all fad.
Thank you.
I'm sorry that my alt facts got in the
I
way.
would be blissfully unaware if it were not for you, boss. Thank you for that. We're going to go ahead and lick our wounds and go into our next song, I Walk the Line by Johnny Cash. Y'all keep it locked to the left. We've got some exciting stuff about April 5th coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
OU, but in my head I was like,
Hello,
oh,
Hey there,
Facebook.
I
How's
didn't
life?
know we lost to OU. I don't know.
I love this song by Johnny Cash.
It's
by the
so
way.
good. So yeah.
Maybe we could listen to it.
Just so everyone's aware. Hey, girl. Everybody wave.
Hi. We're being filmed.
We are. This is Laura. If when she comes in, y'all Facebook audience, y'all be able to see her on the screen. But this is Laura. She's in my broadcast class, and we're doing a project this year.
Yeah.
So this week.
you're totally
so
fine.
she's filming.
Tell her to grab a donut while she's
You
in
should
there.
have
Grab
a
a donut.
We have plenty of donuts.
I am totally
And Mama Medina says
Okay.
hello. She says, good morning, ladies.
Good
morning.
morning, Mama Medina.
Good morning.
Hope you're having a wonderful day. Yeah, there's not much on the news wire right now. I'm looking up news stories. There's really not anything.
Did you hear about the that boiler explosion in St. Louis?
No, but that really reminds me of the Shining. Not sketchy.
This this boiler blew up at this factory, and it
What?
blew up. The boiler itself actually left the building it was in, and then crashed in an adjacent building through the roof and killed 2 other people. I mean, it was a pretty big deal.
Dang.
You don't hear about boiler explosions much anymore.
No,
Wow,
that's not good.
But anyway.
That's really scary.
That's sad.
Is there any happy news?
No,
Happy news?
there's never happy
Yeah.
news.
No such.
Happy news.
Not really.
Siri, Google happy news.
There's got to be some. Like, happy things happen.
Sometimes. Not often. But sometimes. It's not newsworthy if it does, which is sad to me.
That
but
is sad.
isn't
So
it?
let's see. There's the positive news stories right here.
I feel like if there's
that's
if
cool.
something negative happens, it's like it tends to be more newsworthy than positive things, because negative things, this is just the way society is, but negative things affect people more. Like if there's like a lightning strike and you get hit by lightning, you're going to want to hear about that more than if somebody adopts a puppy. That's my spiel.
That's right. Even though I love puppies.
Yep. Okay, Facebook, don't go anywhere. We'll be back soon. So yeah, bye. I love that song. I love Johnny Cash. Alaina, what inspired a throwback music day? Like real throwback.
I was looking through the music and I saw Elvis, and it just went from there. So
That's perfect.
You know,
I dig me some Elvis. Okay, y'all. So I was searching the interwebs last night for interesting things to talk about today, because that's what I do at 1 o'clock in the morning when I'm not sleeping. However, I decided that April 5th does not get enough love because it is not April 1st. It's not a very exciting number. Not a lot has happened on April 5th. So today we're going to celebrate April 5th and all of its wonderful holidays. Were y'all aware that today is National Caramel Day?
Wow.
there's a day for everything.
I know, there really is.
It's starting to bother.
Alaina is going to have plenty to talk about on what grinds my gears. But yes, today is National Do y'all say caramel or caramel?
Caramel.
When I think about it, I think when I think about it, I say caramel, but when I just say it, I say caramel,
When I read it, I say caramel because
Yeah.
that's the way it's written. But yeah.
But it's caramel.
It's caramel. Also, today is National Deep Dish Pizza Day.
Ugh.
That's a beautiful
Let's go
day.
Get some pizza.
I love pizza.
BJ's has amazing
There you
deep
go.
dish pizza. So
BJ?
Yeah.
yeah,
I
knew?
love their pazookies.
The
Yes.
pizookies are bomb.
Those are
I go
so
there.
good.
They're today is today is also National Raisin and Spice Bar Day.
Come on.
That's the worst day.
Get your raisins
Not a
out.
very good day.
This is ridiculous.
That makes this day a little not as good.
Who
not
decides
as-
these things other
not
than
as exciting.
like businesses that sell these
National
things?
Raisin and Spice Bar Day. How do you just say like April 5th is going to be Raisin and Spice Bar Day? Recom Tech. I don't know.
Like, what is a spice bar?
I don't know.
What
I
is
don't
that?
It's like a brownie but made of raisins and spices.
Ew.
Oh.
Y'all don't know
Yay,
about
yummy
spice.
caramel.
That's what drives the universe.
Spice drives the universe. The
The
Spice
spice
Girls.
must flow.
Okay.
You have to go to Arrakis to get it.
Okay, that was deep. Also, though, this is happy. Today is also the National Day of Hope, April 5th. So, it's a hopeful day for those of us that are struggling.
Yay.
Those of us that have 7 essays and 2 video projects due this week. It's a day of hope to show that eventually we will survive.
Eventually.
Eventually. Hopefully. Hopefully.
Hope.
Hopefully.
That was funny. That was good.
I also know today is whole grain sampling day, and read a roadmap day.
Get your roadmaps out.
Get your roadmaps out, people. Nobody would know how to use them.
Yeah, there's even
No one
a
would
thing
know.
anymore.
Actually, this ties in because so this is part of my work, what grinds my gears. But I found myself almost having to drive back to Lubbock with a dead phone on Sunday, and I was like, I won't make it. Like, I don't even know how to get out of Austin. Like, I would not make it having to just read maps and stuff, which is terrible. Like, that is something we have lost because of Google Maps and all of that fun stuff, which I'm thankful for. But also, it's really sad that that's a skill that is gone.
I just don't know what people did.
Some of us still know how to read a map.
Yeah.
And some of
Well,
us still
okay.
use them.
That's good. I
I
don't.
know, but like, what did people do when you were like best restaurant in town? You didn't grab your map.
you had to figure it
Me
out.
to the map. Talked to people.
Word of mouth. You had to like spread the word.
Yeah, I would be so lost. I couldn't get anywhere without my GPS.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Or like Yelp. I wouldn't know where to
I'm
eat.
so thankful
I wouldn't
for it.
know
Same
where
place.
to grab.
No.
I would have no idea.
I'm very thankful for it today. But yeah, I agree. Okay, so those are all the exciting holidays of today. Also, what happened today in history, the world's largest suspension bridge opened to traffic in 1998. I think
this day is just too crazy.
It was in Japan. This day is just way too crazy. Winston Churchill also resigned as UK Prime Minister.
Really? That's a pretty big
big one.
That's
in 1955. I think that's pretty cool. Did y'all ever watch The Crown on Netflix?
No. I attempted it.
So good.
It is amazing.
So good.
Does it get better?
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, you need to keep...
Alaina, you eat another donut. She's like, are there positive news stories? You be the positive in the world, Alaina. Be the positive you want to see.
Wait, is The Crown factual?
Yeah.
It is. It's pretty factual.
It's pretty
That's why I didn't watch
accurate.
it. I was like, I don't know.
It's so
it's
good.
a show.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's not like that other show that was on E that was like The Royals that was just like super sassy, full of like
that one was
and smutty. It was not.
My grandma Sherry would say it.
It was inappropriate. No, this one's actually pretty good. I really liked it. I enjoyed it.
So
a lot.
it does get better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I will
pretty
have to
good.
watch it.
I watched the
so
first 2
good.
episodes and I couldn't do it anymore.
No, I dug it.
Oh, I'm obsessed with it.
I think I didn't get very far. I think I watched about half of the first season, and then other things started consuming my attention. But what I watched, I really enjoyed. Also, real quick, Kurt Cobain died today in 1994.
I listened to him today.
Oh, look at that! There you go.
Heart-shaped
There you go.
box
Wow.
people.
Remembering beautiful people.
Purple.
Bette Davis was born today in 1908, and Colin Powell was also born today in 1937. American general, politician, and 65th United States Secretary of State. Colin Powell. I thought that was an actor. No, I said Bette Davis. Bette Davis was born in Betty Davis.
Betty Davis.
Bette Davis. Bette. I bet people called her Bet. I bet people called her
That was her
Bet.
nickname. Only her closest friend.
I was one of them.
Davis eyes.
Betty Davis.
Well, and speaking of other cable shows made for cable TV, isn't there one about who was the? Wasn't it Betty Davis and who was the other gal that? Betty and Joan, the arguments that the feud, yeah.
Yes, it is so good. Have you watched it?
No. I didn't even know her name was Betty.
I've never
Jessica Lange. Is it Lange or Lang from American Horror Story?
Jessica
Lange.
She is in it, and
I love her.
Yes, you have to watch it.
I can dig her.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay.
She's
She
a
was
beautiful
also
soul.
in the mid-'70s King Kong remake.
Really? She's fabulous.
Wrong.
She's terrifying too. I really dig her.
She is. Ugh.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Well, that's what happened today on April 5th. So we're going to go ahead and go into your KTXT news update. So, yeah. Dallas County District Attorney Faith Johnson is telling the community her top priority in office is clearing the criminal records of deserving people so they can get housing and employment. The Republican and former judge spoke last night to a forum at Concord Church in Redbird. Johnson told the crowd that she wants to facilitate an expungement program for nonviolent criminals. There's a rolling memorial this morning to the nation's highway construction workers, and it promises to tie up traffic on Interstate 35 West in Fort Worth. Between 9:30 and 10 a.m., the 200 highway workers wearing orange reflective vests will be in a motorcade going southbound on the freeway from McCann Boulevard to 28th Street. The workers will be in official highway vehicles. The demonstration is part of National Work Zone Awareness Week. Organizers of this weekend's Dallas Mega March are asking people to carry only American flags and to wear red, white, and blue as they participate. They say the purpose of the event is to encourage immigration reform and to discourage aggressive deportation efforts. The event includes a rally at Dallas City Hall with appearances by Jamie Foxx, Danny Glover, and Martin Luther King III. And finally, the proposed Dallas to Houston bullet train will pass nowhere near San Antonio, but that doesn't mean it's not of interest to local officials. City leaders yesterday discussed the possible impact of a high-speed rail on San Antonio. Advocates told a city council committee that the high-tech project success could mean future fast rail services for the Interstate 35 corridor, including the Alamo City. That does it for your KTXT News Update. Now we have DG with your weather before our next song. Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles.
Thanks, Haley. The National Weather Service forecast for Lubbock and vicinity. Sunny today. Highs in the low 60s with northwesterly winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight. Lows in the upper 30s once again. Hopefully it's the last time we see this sort of cold for the season. Northeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, shifting to the south after midnight. And sunny and a bit warmer tomorrow. Highs Thursday in the lower 70s. Currently outside in Lubbock, fair skies, 39 degrees. Relative humidity at 76%. Wind is from the northwest at 14 miles per hour, creating a wind chill of 31 degrees. Definitely bundle up as you head out this morning, but a light jacket's all you need by this afternoon. Coming up next, as Haley said, here is the Beatles taking it back all the way. Here comes the sun on the Raider 88.1.
Alrighty, hey there, Facebook people. Hope you enjoyed that segment. I enjoyed that segment. I was really excited about it at 1:30 last night when I put it together. I was like, we can talk about how important April 5th is to the world. So, yeah, I don't know. I liked it.
April 5th, man. So many foods.
So many foods. I wish I had deep dish pizza. I have a donut
That sounds
that
so
I haven't
good.
even started eating.
Caramel day.
Ugh, I don't know if I
Caramel
like
day.
caramel.
I do.
It kind of depends on if it's on something or, you know. I
Do you
don't
like
know.
straight caramel?
No.
Really? I love caramel.
It's too sticky, you know. It just gets everywhere.
Ooh, I love caramel. It's good. Really?
Those little caramel
I
squares.
like the
they're
chocolates.
soft and
Yeah.
delicious.
When it has caramel in it.
I don't. It's not my
chocolate,
go-to
but-
treat. It's not my go-to snack, but like I like it. I like caramel apples. I
Oh,
like,
okay, I do like if it's. I don't like it by itself.
Just like
but if it
straight
has
caramel.
stuff in it.
Yeah, I don't. It's
or
very rare
on
for
it, I don't know.
people to eat straight caramel. I think,
Yeah.
unless you've got those
Sounds
candies
nice.
that are usually like in your grandma's like candy bowl.
I love those.
Yes.
They're I'll suck on.
Those are fantastic.
Yeah, they're not bad. That was a weird statement. But anyway, I want to go back to bed. Y'all, I woke up at 7:26 and I left my apartment at 7:35.
How did?
Wow.
Oh wow.
How?
I
I did the
do
same
that?
thing.
I
I left my
just-
apartment at 7:30.
was not. It was a
Somehow.
problem. It was a problem. I woke up and I was like, oh crap, and I just jumped out of bed, got dressed, brushed my teeth, and left, and that was it. And I was struggling, but 1 minute. Okay, cool. I was like, 1 minute till what? Thanks,
not creepy.
Deej.
What are we doing?
What's going on? Deej, we haven't
1
heard.
minute until the sun comes is what
The
it is.
sun comes. Okay. That was stupid.
Different song.
Where's Lisa Lowe? Have you heard anything from her, boss? We haven't either. So.
I haven't seen her. Usually she's here by now,
Oh,
walking
dear.
past the window, but we'll think of something.
Okay. That sounds good.
Josh is here. We can always talk about movies.
Yay, Josh!
I love movies.
I love movies. Love movies. Well, can we just do that next then, and then do what grinds my gears last? Because I'd rather end on what grinds my gears. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Is that okay? We don't have to. Let's not. Let's just do what grinds my gears. That's fine. No. Okay.
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 I want to talk about.
All right,
movies.
Facebook. We'll be back eventually. Bye.
Mom and fam.
Hey there, Texas Tech. Or good morning, Texas Tech. What if our show is called Hey There, Texas Tech?
That'd be kind of
Is it really?
Hey there.
Oh.
there.
No, it's not, Claire.
I thought you said one of our shows. And I was
No.
like, that's kind of cool.
What if it was called Hey There, Texas Tech?
I like that.
That's cute, right? That's cute. Good morning, Texas Tech's better, though. GMTT.
Yeah.
But,
It's classic.
and it would be like HTTT, and that's not, that doesn't
It's
flow.
like HGTV.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
People really
Talk about homes
fix
and
the cabinets.
That doesn't work. Tune in to learn how to fix your cabinet with the Raider. Yep. Okay. Well, anyway, we are going to go into a segment that I enjoy very much with Josh Robinson. He is our guest today. He is going to tell us a little bit about what is going on in the movie world.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, sir.
How are you guys doing?
Wonderful.
Well, as the audience may or may not know, I'm typically on deck here in the studio because a lot of times I'm sitting behind the scenes controlling the Facebook feed. So, I'm always here, but people don't always know I'm here, kind of thing. So I'm always available, at a moment's notice for some random, pointless, who knows what I'm going to talk about. But, with movies, at least we can narrow it down a little bit. So I guess I'll start with this. Did anybody see any movies this weekend?
I did not.
No.
I wanted to.
I didn't.
I'm going to take a wild guess why, and that's probably because nothing really worthwhile came out this last weekend. So, unfortunately, most of my movie review stuff here is probably going to be a few weeks old, but I'm going to start with one that is still towards the top of the box office, and I'm going to take a wild guess that at least one or two people have probably seen Beauty and the Beast. Any of you guys had a chance to see it?
So good. I loved it.
Oh, Haylee, you still haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it yet.
This is the live action, so it is not the animated, obviously. This is not a re-release or something. This is an actually brand new film that stars Emma Watson, who most people would know as Hermione. And also stars the Beast. Now, you guys may have to help me on this one. I'm not as familiar with him.
Claire knows.
Matthew
Downton
from
Abbey.
Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey. Okay.
Downton Abbey.
There you go. Because I personally, by the time they revealed him, I was like, I don't think I know this guy. I didn't recognize the voice. I didn't know who he was. And then whenever the costume or whatever, the makeup was gone, I was like, I still don't know this guy.
Yeah.
So
I haven't seen it. I really want to. Though.
Okay, well, not too many spoilers here because
I know what
obviously you've
happens,
seen the animated version. What I will say, though, that I think is most interesting about this movie is some of the additional characters. Now, I didn't know who the Beast was, but I found it interesting to find out that Ewan McGregor and Stanley Tucci are also two of the main characters with Cogsworth and what's the other
Lumiere.
one? Lumiere. And I was really surprised by that, which, by the way, one of my, and this may surprise some people, but one of my favorite movies from past years was actually Moulin Rouge. So if you know that movie, you also know that was Ewan McGregor's big coming out as a singer movie.
He was in Star Wars, right? He was Obi-Wan.
Well, right, but I'm saying in terms of his musical career,
that
was like his first big one where he actually
sang. You know what
sang.
really bothers me about Beauty and the Beast is the only one with a French accent is Lumiere, and they're all in France.
Yes.
Why is the candlestick the only one who's actually French?
There is a lot of mix-up in terms of, I think, some of the characters and stuff like that.
It stresses me out.
In my opinion, now, admittedly, it's been a long, long time since I've seen the animated one. I will say my wife is a big Disney fan, so she was with me. So in her opinion, it was a great movie. For me personally, I don't know. There was something about it that I think the animated one did slightly better. And, I mean, you guys may have a different feel on that, but in my opinion, the live action didn't really measure up to the animated version.
Really?
Wow.
I don't know. There was something that was missing, and I don't know if it's just that animation just has a certain magic to it that sometimes the live action stuff loses.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, even though the CGI stuff was good, don't get me wrong, some of the effects were pretty cool. You know how they did. You know, she was able to interact with the Lumiere and Cogsworth and the teapot, Miss Potts. And all that. I thought that was pretty cool how they did all that, but I don't know. And then of course, I was talking to a buddy of mine who his girl dragged him to it too. And one of the things he was talking about was within the first 20 minutes or so, he's like, "Is this thing going to be nothing but music?" And luckily, it pans out after a while, and it's not. But I think that was one thing
Not
too.
That
It was a little discouraging
wrong with
but,
musicals. I love musicals.
I don't mind them.
I don't know any. No, you're okay. I don't know any guy that likes musicals, likes movies that are just singing the whole time.
Right. Because probably.
Do you?
Yes.
I'm just saying. I've never met one that likes
school.
this.
Old school
I know a
musicals.
few.
That's good.
I think in recent memory, probably my most disappointing personally was that I Into the Woods. Did you guys see that one?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was too much.
Yeah.
I don't mind musical stuff in movies, but Into the Woods was just constant. And
I heard that's a lot. It's a lot to handle in
It
general,
was
that
crazy.
movie.
And I didn't know what was going to happen, so I went and saw it, and I was like, this is not a fairy tale. This is crazy.
Well, it was. It was the
it was just sad.
real fairy tale that most people don't know.
What
you
was
know?
the one
Grimm.
with Amy Adams?
Enchanted.
Enchanted. That was
I
a
really
good
like
one.
that one.
That was
I
a
did
good
too.
one.
Patrick Dempsey's in that. God bless.
Yeah.
Dr. Shepard.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but I think I remember. But I remember watching that one and thinking, "Oh, this is actually a fun movie." So, yeah, I will say, Beauty and the Beast to me got better about 30 minutes in. In the beginning, I was a little thrown off, and most of the critique that I've seen on it has had to do more probably with the characters, the actors, just because I think that is one thing that the cartoon seemed to do better is that some of the interaction I think was better in the cartoon. Emma Watson and the Beast just don't always. I don't don't know. It feels a little rushed, and so there's times where you're like, would she really be falling in love with this guy at this point? You know, and I know
really
that's the story.
Is the coffee pot really talking?
Well, that too.
These are my questions.
So anyway, that being said, I mean, in all honesty, if you haven't seen it yet, which I'm assuming that the large majority of the audience that actually would see it probably already has, that's definitely a movie on worth going to see. One that I know has come out a little bit more recently, but I don't know a lot about it, and I'm not sure if anybody's seen it, was Ghost in the Shell.
Oh, with Scarlett Johansson?
Yes.
I love
her. And it's based
her.
off of an old anime?
Am
I right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And the thing with that one is unfortunately, and Rotten Tomatoes is usually my main source of info here, it's technically rotten on the tomato meter currently, but only at 45%. So, I mean, that sounds bad, but at the same time, over the summer we were talking about movies that were as low as 10%. So clearly, 45 is a bit of a jump there. From everything I can tell, it's one of those type of sci-fi movies that it's a genre movie, and, as often happens with movies that are very specific in terms of the type of movie they are, a lot of times critics don't always give them their due. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's still a pretty good movie, but I'm sure it's a little different type of movie. It's very futuristic, as you can tell from the previews. And it's certainly one of those type of movies where I don't think people walking in expecting, Black Widow from the Avengers, it's definitely going to be a totally different Scarlett Johansson, a little bit different concept. Probably what they used to.
Something.
So.
She's incredible.
She is.
I don't know, but yeah.
So
it looked weird.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's probably the consensus. I'm sure. I mean, one it kind of reminds me a little bit of. At least from the previews, a little bit of a what's the movie I'm looking for with Harrison Ford?
Blade Runner?
Blade Runner. It feels a little Blade Runner-ish just because it feels a little bit of that kind of darker, futuristic kind of feel. I don't know. I've read a couple reviews and I forget what they were comparing it to, but
I haven't seen very movies that are optimistic about the future. All the futuristic movies seem pretty dark and dismal, and I'm like, what does that say?
Well, and speaking of one of the more, it's been a little while back, but one that I actually saw at the end of spring break that kind of goes along those lines, but to me is still one of the best movies out in the theaters right now, is Logan. And I don't know if any of you guys have seen that one.
I have not.
Oh, I saw Logan. I saw Logan with Claire, and I cried. I cried so much.
You were just so sad.
I was
we went to
hysterical.
Whataburger after, and she just cried.
I did. The people in the theater attendants were like asking me if I was okay. Like when we were walking out, it was like
it was emotional. It was a sad movie.
It was so good though.
It was sad, but the irony of all of it is that assuming, which it's pretty much been stated that there's no doubt that Hugh Jackman is not coming back as Wolverine, but assuming also that Patrick Stewart is not coming back as Professor X, which that one's more up in the air. The fact is that I think that for both of them that was the best movie you could have as an ending. Because there's so many of those series that never seem to get wrapped up. You have let's do 3 movies and let's do a prequel now let's change out the cast, and it's nice to see both of those guys get a chance to really wrap up their characters because one of the things that's hard to believe is that series is almost 20 years old.
They've been crafting it for so long. He's been playing Wolverine for I think 17 years.
Yep. Wow. 17 because it was either 99 or 2000.
I really like X-Men.
I do too. Such a good series.
It's so good.
Isn't that also why Hugh Jackman took other roles? What was the robot boxer movie?
Oh gosh, Real Steel.
Real Steel. And I liked it. I thought it was great, but I was like, why is Hugh Jackman making this?
But
it was because he was so fearful of being typecast as Wolverine.
Yeah, he wanted to branch out.
He also did. What was the magician one?
It was something like that. The Illusionist, I think,
or is it The Prestige? They came
Prestige.
around at the same time.
I think it was Prestige. Yeah, they were very
really
close.
Liked him in that one. So
the ending on that one's not really my favorite, but the rest of the movie I really enjoyed. So.
But he's done a lot. I think kind of like Patrick Stewart, he's also expanded his repertoire not to avoid being typecast as one single character.
So.
Well, and of course, Stewart in his world though, I think he accepts it. He's never going to really be able to break past Picard and now Professor X. I just don't think when people see Patrick Stewart, they think to themselves, "Who is that?" Oh, I think of what was his name, the Scrooge or whatever it was that he was in.
Actually, and that's my favorite. My favorite version of A Christmas Carol is the one that he did
with Patrick Stewart.
But Yeah, that's kind of like saying, wasn't he in that Strongbow commercial?
Right.
Strongbow cider?
Actually, I do like those, though.
Yeah,
I think that's a nice play on him.
Strongbow!
But that being said, again, another one of those movies where I doubt that there's many people who haven't been out there and seen it, but in my opinion, in the theaters currently, I think Logan is probably the best movie that's still playing. It is R-rated. We do have to mention that because you don't want to... I would not suggest dragging the kids to it, which, ironically, as I understand it, there was a lot of kids that went to the movies on that one. Personally, the one thing I would say is that, versus all the other X-Men movies, there's no question that one was the goriest of the X-Men movies.
Well, and I think it was the only one that was rated R, so that was the point.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, well, Josh, thank you so much. Really appreciate you coming in and doing some movie news with us.
Yeah, and just really quick, if anybody's looking for something to watch this weekend, there's always the Smurfs coming, so, in other words, another weekend before we actually start hitting the good movie season, which should be towards the end of this month.
Coming up soon. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, Josh. We really appreciate it. Go watch Logan. It's the best. We're going to go ahead and go into our last song, Stand By Me by Benny King. Y'all keep it locked to the left, and we'll be back soon. Everybody is talking about that. So. Hey there, Facebook. No, that's perfect. I know a lot of people that they've been asking me about what fake news is and if it's real. So yes, it is very real.
It's fake.
It's fake. It's fake.
It's not a real thing.
No, we'll do that, and then if we have time, we'll do what grinds my gears. Just finish out with that, and that's perfectly fine. If we don't, that's okay too. Okay. But yeah, cool. Alrighty, Facebook. Well. Thanks for staying with us throughout this show. Mm-hmm. It's been a wonderful morning.
If anybody's listening, you should post on the Facebook wall where you get your news, your primary source of news.
Do that.
Be curious about that.
I would be too. I really don't have a go-to news source. I get a lot of it from Source Metro, honestly, which is because that's where I go to get my news reads, and they're all just straight new releases, so that's where I get a lot of it. But honestly, a lot of things I see on Facebook, which sounds really sketchy, I always check the source. If it's not CBS or CNN or Fox or a reputed news source, then I don't look at it. But the articles are popping up on there.
Wing nut.
No, I always see these crazy articles, and I look at the source, and I'm like, who even is that? Where did I don't know. People come from. Yeah, It's bad, and it's really annoying too.
It is,
because people just think they know so much about what's going on, and I'm like, where did you get that? So anyway, cool. I'm glad we're talking about this.
Yeah.
But as a journalist, it bothers me.
It bothers. Well, and I think the target is obviously an older demographic. You see that most frequently. People grandma and grandpa sharing. Stuff that, it's the confirmation bias, right? You see something that agrees with your philosophy, and you're like, oh, yes.
I need to share this. This people must know.
Without even reading it, they'll share it.
Right.
They're not reading these articles.
No.
Or clicking through at all.
Anything.
Not even reading, because Facebook is Hotel California. You check in and you can never leave.
You can't ever leave.
They don't want you to leave. So even clicking on looking at the article without actually going to.
There you go.
Yes.
Trisha Earl said for Texas news, she goes to Texas Tribune. That's a good source. I've checked there. All right, Facebook. Thanks for staying with us. All right. Good morning, Texas Tech. That was Stand By Me by Ben E. King. Y'all are listening to Woman Crush Wednesday. We have one of my favorite women in the college here with us, Professor Lisa Lowe. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm fabulous and chilly.
Yes, it's cold.
DG, what's the wind chill?
Freezing.
30.
Good.
Oh, literally.
What's happening here?
I can't. I didn't even wear socks today. I don't know.
But
I didn't think it was boot weather, so I didn't know what to wear. I do have warm shoes on, but I I was like, I can't wear boots. It's April.
I know. I wore boots on Monday, and I thought my feet were going to explode.
Yeah.
Well, and we're supposed to dip back down into 30s again tonight, but we're not expecting a hard freeze. I mean, like I said at the start of the show, I think this is the last of the cold.
Well, it better be.
I hope.
I'm ready for
over
some
it.
suit season.
It has to
the
be.
beach.
The mesquites have bloomed. So.
Oh, okay. Looking
Well,
at the signs.
Yeah, we're getting there. But Professor Lowe is here with what's trending on the interwebs today. So what's trending today?
What's trending? I just have one topic, and I want to discuss it, a little bit more formally, I guess, than we usually do, just kind of breeze through topics. But I want to talk about the concept of fake news.
Okay.
And whether it's a real thing, it's a thing, or it's fake, and kind of cut through some misconceptions. So I want our listeners to think about, okay, number one, where do you consume your news? Is it from an actual source? Do you go? Do you turn on the television for your local news or Good Morning America? I like NPR news, national newscast. I have actual news sources. I don't go to my Twitter feed and my Facebook feed for actual news.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people will share news, but the concept of fake news, and I guess I have a question for you ladies in studio. How would you define fake news?
News that's not credited and not necessarily inaccurate, but not represented correctly.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say clickbait.
Okay,
I think a lot of it is clickbait, and it leads you into a completely different conversation or topic.
Okay.
And you get into it and you're like, oh, I didn't realize that was about Brad Pitt and Angelina.
I know.
Like, that's not really about...
Or Kim Kardashian's,
yeah, it's not... Yeah,
booty.
I think it's all clickbait.
Yeah. Clickbait, okay. Anybody else?
I think the same, it's stuff that maybe is, like, they just kind of expand, it might be some truth in it, but it's not all. They make it more dramatic, more,
Yeah, just to get more views.
Yeah, to get more likes and stuff.
And therein lies the challenge, because at its core, fake news is really fake. It's not rooted in the truth. It's fake. It's absolutely made up information, because and that's where the line gets blurred, because you see the tabloid-like behavior of even the mainstream news media. They play with that headline. Actually, I don't know if you guys are aware, but they do what they call A/B testing of headlines to see which ones work better in terms of getting that click. So even mainstream media uses what you would describe as clickbait, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. We want to dangle that thing out there for you to click it.
Right.
Not in an evil way, but in a legitimate way. We want eyes on our content, right? So you get down in these gray areas where, you're not really sure, and so we're accustomed to that clickbaity type stuff. Well, this isn't exactly what I was thinking it was, so I'm going to click out of it and get out of there. Well, the problem with this fake news is it's an actual fake story. It's made up, but it may be about Hillary Clinton and her email servers. So there's a kernel of, there's a topic that's true. She is a human being. We know her.
Right.
But it's completely made up, and it's completely fed into the machine, the interwebs machine, in order to be propaganda, an actual fake news story. And people that aren't verifying the content, then the actual story, going to, say, Snopes.com has been around forever. DG, how old is Snopes.com? It's been around since email.
Yeah, it goes way back. In fact, I think it predates MythBusters.
Yeah.
So they're the original MythBusters.
They are the original. They are a little spammy still, but in any event, I guess my point is that when you see people sharing this fake news, do they know better? Are they? And we talked about offline about confirmation bias, and the reason that we share this information is if it confirms with our behavior and our beliefs already, then we're, oh yes, that's got to be true. It's on the internet. There's a headline. There's a source, and they don't bother to confirm it. And my class talked about this week. There are more and more organizations tasked with, can we confirm what's real and what's fake? And I guess my final question to you guys is, if there was a little blue check mark on the story, would that help us understand what's fake and what's not fake? Meaning, you see a Twitter account that's confirmed that's a real business, or Facebook, this is the actual.
It's actually a source, a good news source.
Would that you think change behavior?
Maybe. I feel like for people not trained like us, not so much.
Yeah.
I feel like in the mass comm college, like we're kind of taught like what to look for and what's right and what's not right. Yes. But like for people that just like it's not even in their realm of like importance, I feel like it wouldn't really matter to them.
So Lisa, who would check the checkers?
Well, that's an interesting question. So there are new businesses. I'll tweet the link so you guys can look at it. Also, Facebook's getting a lot of pressure.
I bet.
In weeding out the actual real news versus fake news. And that's, again, challenging between, we want that clickbait so we can get eyes on our content and a legitimate organization. And then what do you do with maybe new businesses that have a legitimate news source, but they're new, so they don't get the blue check mark. Yeah. So, it's kind of up in the air right now. But, you see people taking action on this thing called fake news, but there's so much misinformation. I wouldn't say disinformation about what is fake news. And when our commander in chief is saying, that poll is fake news, that is not fake news.
No.
If they totally just made up the poll, yes, it would be fake. But just because it doesn't agree with your viewpoint doesn't make it fake.
That's where I heard it from. Was the first term was our commander in chief. So.
Yeah.
Alrighty, but thank you so much, Professor Lowe, for being in here. That's a really interesting topic. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. This has been Woman Crush Wednesday. Good morning, Texas Tech. Make sure y'all tune in on Friday for Good Fella Friday. I'll be there too. There will be donuts. It'll be exciting. But y'all have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. Everybody say bye. Bye. We'll see y'all back here next week.
It's Undercurrents.